Tonight, on a Clockwork breakdown, battered striker on the run, a home court advantage no one remembers, and a power play from the dissident elite. We're going to break down every sinister smile, every hot bowl of soup, and the most dangerous spare bed in dystopian England. Previously on a Clockwork Orange, Alex, teen terror, Malacco plus connoisseur, and Beethoven devotee, ruled the streets with his loyal droogs, until one fateful night at a lonely cottage, a writer's wife perished, and a manuscript got smashed, like so many old men's heads.
And after a government-sponsored personality purge and an ugly reunion with the outside world, Alex found himself jobless, homeless, and one unlucky step from the grave, until fate, or narrative convenience, leads him back to that very same cottage.
The question is, does forgiveness live here, or something far worse?
That's your refresher, Droogies. So if you forgot how Alex went from alpha predator to shivering stray dog, now you're caught up. Teddy, thoughts on the recap?
It's like rewatching a tragic sports highlight, Ben. You know where it's headed, but you can't look away. Good evening, horror show faithful. Welcome back to a Clockwork Breakdown, the show that covers dystopian disasters the way pros break down playoff upsets. I'm your droog for the evening, Tedy, and joining me is a man whose Moloko runs colder than government cover-ups. It's Ben.
Cheers, Teddy. What a chapter we've got on our hands tonight. It's all the classics. Lonely Roads, Suspect Soup, and Hospitality with a sinister agenda.
Couldn't have said it better. Alright, droogs, it's part 3, chapter 4, The Stranger in the Cottage. Ben, warm us up.
Okay, picture it, folks. Our old pal Alex, fresh off a double betrayal. Parents give him the boot, society's done with him, and the Ludovico technique turned him into a walking, talking, moral headache. The kid staggering through town like a striker, took a red card, and forgot where the locker room is.
And what's waiting for him? Nothing. No gang, no Moloko, no Beethoven, just silence and the bitter taste of consequence.
Which leads him out to the countryside. The man's out there, wandering like an out-of-contract midfielder, hoping for a second division team will pick him up.
And then, the cottage. That's where the chessboard lights up, Ben. Tell the people whose house it is.
Oh, you know it. The same one from part 1's Home Invasion. The house with the writer, Mr. Alexander, and his poor, poor wife. That one set this whole disaster in motion.
But here's the kicker. Neither party recognizes the other yet.
We know, they don't, and that's dramatic irony doing laps around the pitch.
Let's get into the setting. The cottage. It isn't just a location, it's a haunted arena. The house has seen things.
I'm talking bad energy on every floorboard. It's the old taffeta trauma. Mr. Alexander's still living there, wife's gone, life's in shambles, and you can feel it in the very walls.
And along comes a soaked, battered Alex. Mr. Alexander takes one look at this broken kid and doesn't see the past. He sees a political goldmine, Ben.
Exactly. The man's got an agenda bigger than Alex's old ego. The Ludovico treatments turned it into a scandal. Mr. Alexander smells a very good opportunity.
He's like a manager spotting a washed-up striker and thinking, maybe he's got one last run in the cup.
Now here's where Burgess runs the hospitality playbook. Hot soup, warm bath, and a spare bed. Classic strategy.
Don't sleep on the soup, Ben. That's a veteran-level manipulation. Soup isn't just a meal, it's a contract.
You're right. The soup says we care, but it really means we own you.
And Alex, poor Droog, eats it up. Literally. He's so broken by the system, even fake kindness feels like salvation.
They even bring in Z Dolan and a couple of shady political midfielders to plan their move. The dissident squad's assembling, and Alex doesn't even know he's about to be their pawn.
And that's textbook dystopian strategy. Break a man down, then build him back up in your image, Mr. Alexander.
Got that right.
Clockwork Orange is brought to you by
Moloko Plus energy drink. Now it's twice the symptom-esque and half the remorse. Need to pick me up before a night of ultraviolence? Moloko Plus, because sometimes milk just isn't enough.
Remember that athlete, Dim? The guy who demolished those guys in the championship run? I think it was three guys.
Yeah.
One of the all-time greats. Man, I miss him, Ben, but you know what? He uses Moloko Plus, and he used Moloko Plus, which is why he's not in the league anymore. But
Well, side effects include Beethoven hallucinations, existential dread, and imprisonment. Also at risk of falls, dehydration, bed sores, as well as depression. Do not drink responsibly.
I will not be. And we're back, breaking down the most uncomfortable cottage sleepover in literary history. Ben, let's get into the MVP of this chapter.
Dramatic irony is doing overtime in this chapter. We know who Alex is. We know what he did in that house. And we know that Mr. Alexander should too. But trauma's one hell of a thing.
Every kind word, every poor lad, is a time bomb. We're watching the slow motion car crash, waiting for the reveal.
You just want to grab Mr. Alexander by the collar and yell, "It's him, man! It's the kid with the codpiece and the singing voice."
It is brilliant tension. The reader's miles ahead. But gosh, Ben, these characters are stuck in a fog. They have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
They need to pick it up.
Yeah, they do. Certainly.
All right, Ben, no more dodging. We gotta talk about this. Was Ludovico's technique moral, progress, or dystopian horror show? Because I'm telling you, this is the moment that defines the book.
Tedy, come on. Look at the scoreboard. Crime rates plummet, society stabilizes, and the streets are safer. What's the issue? Alex had his chances. He knew what he was doing out there.
You're measuring success in stats, Ben. It's easy to cheer when the numbers look good, but at what cost? You take away choice. You take away humanity.
Screw humanity. I don't bite. Free will is a great slogan until someone's grandma gets curb stomped because some droog wants to flex his horror show muscles.
That's the risk of freedom. Better an honest danger than a freaking sterile safety. Ludovico's technique didn't fit Alex. It gutted him. He wasn't choosing to be good. He couldn't be bad. That's not virtue. It's programming.
So what's your alternative? Let him loose. Hope they find inner peace at the Moloko anonymous meetings. Tedy, the kid was irredeemable.
Nobody's irredeemable. That's the tragedy here. He was still human, Ben. A monster, of course, yes. But a monster who changed on his own terms. The state took that from him.
I swear, you've been drinking the humanist Kool-Aid. Listen, if Ludovico's program means one less old man gets pounded for kicks, then I'm team government intervention.
And if one day it's your freedom they erase, you'll wish you fought harder for his.
Maybe. At least someone wouldn't be kicked in the ribs.
We'll see, Ben. We'll see. Time for Prediction Center. We got a message from Moloko Moocher. They ask, do you think Alex is truly broken at this point? Or is there still spark of the old droog in him?
Excellent question. Look, physically, the kid can't throw a punch without getting the old cold sweats. But mentally, those old instincts are still in there, hibernating like a bear in winter.
I couldn't agree more, Ben. This chapter shows how easy it is to replace ultra-violence with dependence. But that spark, it's not out.
No,
Not yet, Ben.
No, it's not. It's buried under soup and pity, but it's waiting for the right cue. Maybe a familiar tune, maybe a bad memory. Either way, it'll come back.
It should. And another message from Ludovico 1984. Do you think F. Alexander will figure out? And if he does, will he snap?
Another great question. I think it's hard to say. It looks like he's struggling to remember his own name. If he can get over his yips and come back in the next half, I would love to see that standoff, though.
I couldn't agree more, Ben. Once Alexander takes one more good look at Alex, it will be a match for the ages. However, I think F. Alexander won't let up his facade. I think he will use Alex for an even bigger bonus later down the road.
That's some good thinking there.
This Alexander guy, he's shady.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Looking to unwind without the burden of moral responsibility? Welcome to the Ludovico Lounge, the premier spot for those who've seen too much and felt too little.
Slide into one of our patented reclino chairs while our medically trained staff gently holds your eyelids open for a nightly film club. Tonight's feature, Love's Labor's Lost and Found Guilty.
Every cocktail's a certified mood modifier, featuring classics like the ultra calm old fashioned, the aversion spritz, and for you thrill seekers, the Clockwork Negroni, served with an ironic orange wedge.
With a live string quartet renditions of your favorite horror show beats, curated anti-violence aversion conditioning boosts, and a no-fight policy strictly enforced via tranquilizer darts.
The Ludovico Lounge, where your conscience checks out and the tab never does.
It's not brainwashing, it's bespoke conditioning.
Come on down to Ludovico. Alright, Ben, best moment of the chapter for you.
Easy. The soup scene, on the surface, is just dinner. But narratively, it's the moment Alex transitions from predator to pawn.
Beautiful. For me, it's Mr. Alexander's decision to take him in. It's a gamble with stakes he doesn't even realize. This move's gonna ripple throughout the rest of this match.
And for the reader, it's a prime horror show entertainment. Next time on A Clockwork Breakdown, Beethoven, betrayal, and one musical meltdown you don't want to miss. Will Alex survive the hospitality hangover, or will his past catch up with him with a vengeance? Tune in.
That's a wrap for us tonight, Droogs. I'm Teddy.
And I'm Ben.
Stay horror show and don't accept soup from strangers.